Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond. Today, I'm joined by the writer, co director, and star of the chaotic, unhinged, music driven psychological horror film called Hitch Hackers, a Dream Punk Odyssey. Let's welcome Devix Szell. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for joining me to talk about your proof of concept film, soon to
hmm
be feature. I know it is because it is great. You brought this script to me a little far back here, and I read it and instantly fell in love with it. And I really did enjoy it, and it was fun. It was unhinged. It was crazy. It was a mystery. There was all kinds of fun and stuff going on. And if you're a horror fan, you'll definitely like this. Very psychological, very in the head.
Thank, thank, thank you for saying all of that. That was incredible. That's amazing.
Film is about a dream punk band struggles to make it in a chaotic music scene of Los Angeles, navigating personal demons, industry pitfalls, and bizarre supernatural occurrences. That's a lot going on, but it comes together so smoothly. You did such a great job on that script.
Well, the script was written before the description. You get things like that, and you're just sitting there going, people need to know what it is before they can know what it is in this
Mhm.
business. I don't even think I had to tell you what it was. I think you were so cool that you were just like, okay, I'll read it. That's I think my best imitation of the moment. Fine, yes,
Mhm.
I'll see what happens. I'll let you know how it goes. And I was like, yes, yes.
And I was hooked because I kept going. It was like, oh, I'm gonna read a few pages, and then it just kept me going because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. You break down the characters as it's going, so you understand what situation, why they're here, and what was their purpose. And you really cover that throughout the script.
I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. Thanks for saying that again. It's really cool. And
And you
yes,
played Joey too.
I wrote it not as initially a vessel or anything like that. It just has, there's no other, I think it's the best idea, for me to hold on to that guy for a while. I can do it. And I had ideas of playing other characters for a while to just shove myself in there, but then it just sort of was pretty obvious after a short bit that that's my guy. And secondary a help for the proof of concept to co-direct for that, and it's all made. It was written for an actual. It was written for a third party. It's written for a director who we're trying to work through, to figure out, how to make this happen. So I don't want to direct the feature film. I never have wanted to. I want to direct other feature films and maybe others that I might write or have written, but not this one. Um, just so I can focus on Joey and making sure that that director is supported and gets to do what they want to do with it and changes the script somewhat. I wrote it for a woman to direct, specifically a woman. Too much testosterone on my side to be okay with how the script is as of now. I'd love to see it turned inside out by this specific right person. So we'll see what can happen there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That is. I don't even think I knew that.
maybe
That it was
not. Yeah,
specifically, yeah.
yeah.
But I wanted to say congratulations, won Best Horror category for LA Punk Film Festival.
And that helps my directing career, which is sort of like what I would call a day job because I'm a musician first. Well, I was a musician first. Acting is my passion. Uh, Directing is my day job, and rock and roll is my lifestyle.
So where did the idea come from? Because it's very music driven. It's very in the headspace, and even the characters, like, are they there? Are they really there? Or are they part of the journey? Are they part of this scene of this person trying to get to point A and point B because he really needs something to be done? It feels like it's a personal experience.
I was asked to write. I told a couple stories on when I ran into somebody. I have the experience of being a driver. and working for a company as a driver as a day job. Um, pulling hardcore hours. So there was some personal experience that definitely fed into it. And I never thought that this would be something that would be interesting because, of course, the film Taxi Driver exists. You can't have a driving movie or an edgy driving driver movie. There are other movies that exist like that have followed in the footsteps of Taxi Driver. And you can't have them without thinking of Scorsese and whatnot, in that film, De Niro and all that. So I never thought these would be interesting stories. I thought I was just living, some modern rendition of Travis Bickle's lifestyle at one point. And then while driving, I met somebody who was in the business and really nice guy. And I'd seen him around at festivals and things like that. And it was kind of a weird cosmic experience, and I didn't know who he was yet. And he had leaned in. He's like, "So, what's the weirdest stories you've ever had, while driving?" And I told him a couple things, had him laughing his ass off. And he said, "You got to write those down." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, maybe I should." And he's like, "So what do you do?" We went back and forth. It turned out he was a CEO of a production company. I'm like, "Dude, what are you talking about? I'll throw it into a script for you and you can take a look." And he's like, "Do it." So that took me 2 years. That was 2015, and it took me 2 years to write the script because I had never written a script before. I was a songwriter, and I could make a person laugh in a room telling a story. So I had developed myself as an actor, in an actor's studio style of training, and that fed my ability. That gave me the confidence to be able to write some scenes. And I'm a big fan of screenwriting and stuff like that. I just never had done anything formally. So anyway, that's why when I gave it to you, you were one of the first people outside of the circle, very small circle, who had read it, and I was terrified because it is your business to know what's good and what's not.
Well, it had a flow to it. I mean, even though you never wrote scripts before, but you
Yeah.
wrote music, right?
Yes,
So, but it has that flow to it musically. Like if you watch it, you feel the ups and downs and the different styles. Like it gives you, like you could feel it. Like when you're watching these characters, or it's in your head. Like you're reading or watching these characters, you feel it. You get what's going on and why they feel this way, and it takes you on the journey. And music, when you listen to music, you feel it. You don't just hear it. So I think you put that, what you're good in, into what you were writing at the
that's
same
such
time.
that's such great news. That's such a great thing to it's a little bit long. It's about a 2-hour film, I think, and even in the best hands, it should be, I think, as well. Wow, it's like for a first script too. I didn't write a 98, 95, 88 page script. I damned myself and wrote this 2-hour movie. It's over, I don't know how many pages, 130 pages or something. It's like, it's just devastating, 120. So it's exactly 2 hours long. And because I know it and whatever, it's hard for me to really be objective. I liked it, but now I don't want anything to do with it. I just want to hand it off to the right person and the right people, and make sure that it's familiar to the feeling of what it needs to be to convey the right ideas and thoughts and feelings and extremes, and also it needs to take some time. It needs to capture a moment, right before the pandemic moment, which I didn't know was coming.
And I hope whoever gets their hands on it take good care of it, because I'll be watching. I will be
You got
watching
to be there. I got to
that.
have you there. You've been so essential in making this thing happen in so many different ways, to be totally honest. It's you
Yeah.
got
And
you're going to be there. You'll be there.
I can't even remember how it happened, where I made this iconic mask for the drummer. When I saw it on the film, I was like,
Hmm.
it looks 100 times better.
And I don't feel like we featured it enough in the proof of concept. I was so bummed out that because it was so great. It was my first directing experience, and I did my best, and I'm happy with it. But you're always going to say, "Oh, why not this? Why not that?" You're dying for time. So I didn't feel like we gave him, your mask enough, but it's a proof of concept, so it's meant to be a whatever. I got away with murder with this thing, but I can't wait to show him off more. And I remember what happened is I saw you and you were being a hobbyist creating something out of nothing, and
Mm.
I couldn't believe the detail of you working with your hands creating a face from a movie that I had seen that
Oh, was it
I
Malignant?
yeah, that was it. I saw Malignant alone that actually connected to my second script that I've got that I finished in Chicago. I wrote in Chicago with someone else, a partner, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And then I saw you, and I don't know how we found each other, but it must have been the algorithm. I didn't even know you had a show. I thought you were a pro, effects artist. I thought you were a pro because you were creating this imitation of Malignant, the demon thing, the face, and it was so disgusting and so ugly and bloody and gut wrenching, and you want to just chew through it. It's just vile. And I thought it was made of the latex, liquid latex, and everything. And ugh. Oh yeah, you're shaking your head because I saw the making of, and you made it out of what? Paper towels.
Yep, paper towels and clay.
So my mind, I've known some effects people, and I'm thinking, okay, I have no budget. I don't know what the hell to do. I have some friends I could ask to do this thing. And then I realized you took an affinity for the character Jinx anyway when you read the script, and you helped me a little bit, just adjustments to making it a little more realistic and to make sure something's a little clear here and there. And I thought that was really important because we come from different places, and you need to honor each other and their different experiences for different cultures and backgrounds. And I thought to myself, Jinx is a black character, and he's a guy who's actually roughly based on a real life drummer who I work with, who's in my band. Coincidentally, there's not everybody is a real replica of the band in my life, but Jinx is. And Delano, who you met, and you shaped it around his head. He was heavily the inspiration behind the character, and he knows that. He wants to play the character in the feature, and I'm like, no promises. You can be the drummer, but I have no idea how that crap works. That's a nightmare. They're gonna want the biggest actors, whoever's in charge. Anything can happen, and I have no idea. But I got him to be the character in the movie and in the short film, and we're gonna do what we got to do. But you jumped in there, and I wanted you to do it because I wanted to capture the perspective. Like I wanted the skin tone, and I wanted the character to be a reflection of the character, and who better to do it than someone who could understand him as well as I could. And you loved him, so I figured it was just yours the second that we talked about it. So there was no other choice.
You know what's interesting about that mask and the character in the entire film is that it's obviously music driven. So um,
Literally.
it there's no silent points in this film. It's fast paced. It's going. It gets to where it needs to get to. Well, the mask is an inspiration between two silent killers in horror, which is Jason and the Predator. So you don't really hear them, you see them. But in this film, you see the mask, but you also hear it. You hear the music coming from the character who's wearing it. So I just think that's such an important element because
Mm.
throughout the film, the silence is in the head, but it's loud. And those are the points we see in the movie. Whereas as it's going, you see those silent parts loud around Joey and different of the characters.
I never thought of that. And he's the drummer, and he's the loudest one. I never thought of that. That's really cool. Yeah, you're right. They're silent. The inspiration, because that's just a tidbit or a cute little piece of the character creation that was fictional. Is I thought, let's have this guy be a horror fan. And it was a technical reason that I put him in a mask in the first place, but I justified it with that. And we like horror, so people can be horror fans. It doesn't matter. But I just thought it was pretty cool at the time. But that's you extrapolated that, huh? That's nice.
Well, Well, I mean, because every single thing in a film should mean something. It shouldn't just be placed there just to look cute. So reading this script and then watching, you know, the proof of concept and things that you've shown me when he walks in and then he talks. So that's what I'm saying. It has a presence just as well as every single character that's important in this film.
You get ideas like, I want this person to be very strong when they enter for whatever reason, or have a strong presence, or have a I'm just speaking about him. I should just say that I don't know why. I could break it down, not going to, but it definitely, when I shot that, I wanted him to be a towering, powerful moment. I wanted it to be, because, and you're right, there was no dialogue there. So I was really proud of my editor when I directed that moment, to like say, we got to get that shot in there, otherwise it's over. Like, we didn't get enough of him, he's got to have that moment. Oh my God, what do we, and it worked out. I may have found a place to screen it. So if I, again, for just the small groups of people, so I'll let you know. That's awesome.
So what's next? Because you said you want to hand this over. Is there someone in mind? You don't have to say their names or anything, but what's next for Hitch Hackers?
I've collected a core group of what I would call ultimate badasses who will be able to bring this thing to life. Some of them worked on the original, sorry, excuse me. Some of them worked on the demo version. I call it a demo version because I'm a musician first, and that's what it is. It's just a demo song. And you take the demo to the producer. In this case, you take the demo to the director, producer and director, and say, here's the idea. And then they take it into the studio and blow your brains out. That's what they do. So I've got one of those two things locked in. And of those two things, there's like five different pieces, because you've got music, you've got multiple types of producers on deck, that fit things. You're kind of one of those people in a way too, so it's like, just for whatever reason, whatever, consulting, whatever we want to say when we get there, and we'll see how it goes. Anything can always change, but and then when the director takes the reins again, I'm ready to let go. There's just two sequences that I want to make sure we see eye to eye on. I don't care what she does after that. I want to let go. If she reads the script and her heart is affected, and she feels like that it's something that she can do, or that is important to her too, and she understands why it's her that I keep thinking about, since I wrote the thing word for word, note for note. And I have an incredible editor who I wrote it for as well, to circumvent the pressure for her, uh being that, I'm the guy that wrote the thing, and I'm the ego that believes he needs to be in the thing, which is ridiculous, but because I'm not doing that with all my ideas. I'm willing to let go of this one, that one. It's just something about this one. And then I've had other people confirm that, like a musical side. I've got the music set up. I need the music in relative control, but again, I think that the director will totally dig it, and always open for collaboration and ideas. There's never going to be you never turn down a good idea, they say, like, when you're directing, or whenever you're producing, or whatever you're working on art, you never turn down a good idea, but never take a bad one. So I've got a lot. And then I'm honestly now on the more business side, which is diabolical and miserable, but I'm getting better at it and navigating it. And the more I can do for that, on that side as a producer, the less that the director has to worry about. I'm just trying to set it up so that when that person shows up and is available and ready, their job is strictly creative and fun. It's all about the fun side at that point, because it gets a little bit taxing. It's a taxing story.
I wanted to leave on this. I've known you for a little bit now, and even through the process of you, hey, read this, and even putting it together, like you kept me up to date and some stuff I know. Making a film is hard. It is.
Mm.
It's never easy. I don't care what level you on, but
Yeah.
I have to say, no matter how many challenges you went through, the ups and downs and the disappointments, you still kept doing it, and as a result, you are at this point right now. I mean, there were times that
Mm.
things you wanted to give up on and change or whatever, and you had to do what was necessary. But even though you're trying to like hand it over to someone, you put blood, sweat, and tears in this. And I want people to know that this film will be made,
Yeah.
and when it does, it'll capture a wide audience. Not everyone, but there is a wide audience for this because it just really showed determination and power and love for doing something that you really want to do, not only on the outside of making, but inside, because the characters really wanted to get, to play, but they had to do what they had to do to get what they needed to get it going. And it's the same. It's the same on either side of the camera, and I think you capture that. And I can't wait for people to see that.
I can't wait either. Thank you. That's it means a lot. Yeah, it's yeah.
Like, I'm not making this stuff up to sound good. I know what you
We
know.
have a dedication in the intro
Yeah.
of this of the proof of concept. It's in it's in the script now. It wasn't when you read it, and it is now. It's on the front page, and it's meant to be the first thing that you read, and it is the last public uh, post of a character of a friend who was going to play a character and didn't get to, and it's the last thing that she said before she left. And there's a lot riding on this, and I'm so glad that you wanted to do this because I'm working on so many different projects now, while this one is still like you said, just kind of it feels like it just needs to go. And like I said before, there's so much ego in having a Rocky style production where you're the guy, you're the actor, you're the writer, and then everyone's like, oh, you're the director, it's a vessel for you. It's like, no, it's not. I i don't even want to do it. I just want to get it done. And I think it's important. There's something about it that just won't seem to go away. And I've, like you said, it's not that I wanted to give up. I wanted to throw it away. I wanted to move on. It's not giving up. It's really just like, okay, okay, like when is this thing? And even that's why I did the proof of concept, is that just in case something happens to me, there's a minor guideline that if somebody takes it after if something were to happen to me, it could still go, or whatever can happen. And at least it's out in the universe and sent somewhere that the general idea can be felt. And it's already, and like you said, I'm very pleased that it's some people are getting reactions out of it and having a response, uh even word of mouth, and like you said, the festival and stuff. So, and all this stuff is completely out of my control. It's been a very intuitive experience, and satisfying every step of the way.
I am really glad that it came to me. It's really good. So
Who knows how that really happened? God, isn't that great?
I can't even remember, but
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know. We were brought like magnets. You get brought to each other somehow. So that's
So thank you everyone for coming on here. Make sure you check out those links and everything else that I will put down. And if you like more videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to follow. Once again, thank you, Devix.
I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.